The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Jesus said to his apostles, "Whoever loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And whoever loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And whoever does not take up their cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Whoever finds their life will lose it, and whoever loses their life for my sake will find it. Whoever welcomes you welcomes me, and whoever welcomes me welcomes the one who sent me. Whoever welcomes a prophet in the name of a prophet will receive a prophet's reward, and whoever welcomes a righteous person in the name of a righteous person will receive the reward of the righteous. And whoever gives even a cup of cold water to one of these little ones in the name of a disciple, truly, I tell you, that person will not lose their reward." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Jesus Christ.
It can be a real challenge to follow Jesus, to be a Christian, but it's completely and fully worth it. This was one of the topics that Jesus spoke about with his disciples during the Last Supper. That night, he told them, "The world will give you trouble, but take courage. I have conquered the world." We will never experience the full reward of our faithfulness to Christ in this life. But every once in a while, we get a snapshot, a glimpse of that reward, a reminder that God is still in charge, and he is watching over us. There's an amazing story that I heard from my fellow seminarians from Vietnam of Cardinal Francis Xavier Nguyen Van Thuan. Just 6 days after he was named coadjutor Archbishop of Saigon, South Vietnam fell to the communist-controlled North Vietnam. Soon thereafter, the future cardinal was arrested by the communist authorities. For the next 14 years, they tried to break his faith, moving him between re-education camps, prisons, and solitary confinement. He felt immobilized. He could neither preach nor administer the sacrament, but he found hope, knowing that Jesus experienced that same persecution and isolation as he journeyed towards the cross. Cardinal Van Thuan tells us it was from there that he performed his greatest deed. He redeemed us sinners. Thanks to his help, I have never regretted my destiny. This light, whose source could only have been God himself, totally changed my way of thinking. When the communists put me in the hold of the boat, along with 1,500 other prisoners, and moved us to the north, I said to myself, "Here is my cathedral. Here are the people God has given me care for. Here is my mission, to ensure the presence of God amongst these, my despairing, miserable brothers. It is God's will that I am here. I accept his will." And from that moment forward, a new peace filled my heart and stayed with me for 13 years. When he was finally released, he was permitted to go to Rome and visit, but after leaving the country, he was never allowed to return. In the year 2000, Cardinal Van Thuan shared a bit of his story with Pope St. John Paul II. He said to the Holy Father, "Today I feel profoundly moved. Exactly 24 years ago, on March 18, 1976, on the vigil of the Feast of St. Joseph, I was taken by force from my residence in Kỳ Vong and put in solitary confinement in the prison of Phu Hang. 24 years ago, I never would have imagined that today, on exactly the same date, I would conclude preaching the spiritual exercises in the Vatican. 24 years ago, when I celebrated Mass with 3 drops of wine and a drop of water in the palm of my hand, I never would have dreamed that today the Holy Father would offer me a gilded chalice. 24 years ago, I never would have thought that today, the Feast of St. Joseph in the year 2000 in Kỳ Vọng, the very place where I lived under house arrest, my successor would consecrate the most beautiful church dedicated to St. Joseph. Cardinal Vantoine's story teaches us that following Jesus is not easy, but it's worth it, no matter how bad things get. If we stay close to Christ, he stays close to us and gives meaning to everything we suffer. Jesus is inviting all of us today to take up our crosses and follow him. Your cross might be an illness that you're going through, or challenges with a family member. It could be from big changes happening, a big move, or big changes, for instance. Or you might feel put down and misunderstood for your faith, or have lost opportunities because you held your ground in your moral beliefs. Jesus knows that by following him, even though it's difficult, we will discover the meaning and lasting happiness that we long for. So as we continue our journey this week, let us respond to his invitation and trust that he's walking alongside us.